He buried his mother's bracelet under the old mango tree. But when the bracelet began to cry in the dead of night, the entire village knew her spirit was not at peace. In the quiet, humble village of Umwaka, nestled among rolling green hills, lived a boy named Chike. He was barely 16, with eyes that held both the innocence of youth and the heavy shadow of loss. His mother, Mama Neka, was the sun in his sky. She was a gentle, hardworking woman, the kind of person who would pray for her neighbor's harvest even when her own yams were sparse. She was everything to him. But life, as it often does in stories like these, took a cruel turn. When she passed away suddenly during the planting season, it wasn't just a loss. It was as if Chike's entire world had collapsed into dust. The colors of the village faded, the birdsong sounded like a lament, and the air itself felt heavy with his grief. All she left behind for him was a small, unassuming copper bracelet. It was worn and simple, but she had never taken it off. It was a part of her, a silent witness to every prayer she whispered and every lullaby she sang. The village elders, their faces etched with wisdom and sympathy, gathered around him. "Keep this safe, Chike," one of them said, his voice a low rumble. "Her spirit, her love for you, it lives within this bracelet." But grief is a powerful, unpredictable force. It makes people do strange, desperate things. The weight of the bracelet on his wrist was a constant, searing reminder of what he had lost. It was too much to bear. One night, as a fierce storm raged, mirroring the tempest in his own heart, Chike made a decision. He couldn't stand the pain anymore. He walked out into the rain, clutching the small copper band, and went to the old mango tree behind their hut. This wasn't just any tree. It was their tree. The one where she used to sit with him, telling him stories of the ancestors and singing songs that made the fireflies dance. With tears mixing with the rain on his face, he dug a small hole in the soft, wet earth beneath its sprawling roots. He placed the bracelet inside, covering it with soil. He whispered into the howling wind, maybe if I hide it, the pain will go away. Maybe I'll forget." He hoped that by burying the object, he could bury the memory, bury the overwhelming sorrow. He returned to his hut, his heart a hollow drum, and fell into a restless sleep. But some things refuse to be buried. Some bonds are too strong for the earth to hold. The very next night, a different kind of wind howled through the village. It wasn't the sound of a storm, but a mournful, eerie wail that snaked through the trees and rattled the windows. Chike woke with a start, his heart pounding in his chest. He heard a sound, a faint, heartbreaking sound of crying. It wasn't human. It was something else, something ethereal and filled with a sorrow that chilled him to the bone. The sound was coming from the direction of the mango tree. His hands trembling, Chike pushed himself out of his cot and stepped outside. The storm had passed, and a full, silver moon hung in the sky, casting long, ghostly shadows. The moonlight fell directly on the wet soil at the base of the old tree, and that's when he saw it. The ground was trembling, just a soft, rhythmic pulse, like a slow heartbeat. A thin, ethereal beam of light shimmered from the exact spot where he had buried the bracelet. It pulsed with the sound of the crying, and then, carried on the wind, he heard a voice. It was soft, so soft he thought he was imagining it, but it was unmistakably hers. It was his mother's voice, filled not with anger, but with an aching sadness. "Why, my son?" the voice whispered. "Why did you leave me in the cold, dark ground?" The world spun. Tears, hot and immediate, streamed down Chike's face. He fell to his knees in the damp earth, his body shaking uncontrollably. "Mother," he choked out, his voice a raw whisper. "Is it you?" As if in answer, the soil began to shift. The bracelet pushed itself up, inch by inch, breaking through the surface. It glowed with a faint, warm light, as if the earth itself understood that this love was too sacred to be hidden, and refused to keep it buried. With shaking hands, Chike reached out and picked it up. The moment his skin touched the copper, a wave of warmth spread through him, chasing away the chill in his bones. He clutched it against his heart, sobbing, not from grief this time, but from a profound, overwhelming sense of connection. And in that instant, the crying stopped. The eerie wind died down, replaced by a gentle, calm breeze that rustled the leaves of the mango tree. The leaves seemed to shimmer, as if they were dancing once more. Chike didn't feel fear. He felt love, her love. It was a presence, a warmth, a reassurance that settled deep within his soul. He wasn't alone. He had never been alone. From that night on, Chike never took the bracelet off again. He wore it with pride, a constant, warm presence on his wrist. The villagers noticed, of course. They saw the light return to his eyes, the strength return to his stride. He began to tend to his mother's garden, and the yams grew stronger than ever before. And when people would ask him about the simple copper bracelet he now cherished, he wouldn't recount the terrifying story of the crying. He would just smile, a gentle, knowing smile that held the wisdom of a lifetime. "Some love never dies," he'd say, his voice calm and sure. "It just waits to be remembered." And as he spoke, he would glance towards the old mango tree, where the leaves whispered songs only he could hear. Thank you so much for watching. If this story touched your heart, please consider liking this video and subscribing to our channel for more stories that explore the deep connections that bind us all. We'll see you in the next one.